Hello guys, and welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for being here and pressing play on this episode. I am just so grateful to have you here listening to the Breaking Butterfly podcast. Today's episode is going to be again a mixture of things. We're gonna dive into my personal experience of a big milestone that I just hit in my business, and with that there are going to be business lessons, there are going to be life lessons, there are going to be money lessons. I want to talk about money. I want to talk about a technique, a method, a trick that I have been using with my money recently, which has helped me immensely, like crazy amounts. So you're getting a little bit of everything today. You're getting my story in a really personal experience. We're going to talk about business, we're going to just talk about life, and we're going to talk about like alignment and money. All of them. Everything. We're going to talk about everything. So again, thank you so much for pressing play on this episode, and I am just getting right into the episode today. I have no business to take care of or nothing really to share with you guys because my big sharing moment is gonna be this whole episode. I have something so exciting that I want to share with you guys, and I decided I would make a whole podcast episode about it. So I don't even know how to start this, and I might cry a lot throughout this, but I recently hit a milestone in my business, a really big milestone, at least for me in my mind, right? I mean, it is a huge milestone, but for me, it's a milestone that I kind of created in my head to be this milestone of like, oh, when I get there, I will have made it. Like I made it. I am a success. And not really in a negative way. Like sometimes we talk about, like reaching for something, reaching for a goal, because like only then will we feel successful. It wasn't like that. I've felt successful this whole entire time in my business. I've never felt like a failure and then once I reach this number, then I will be a success. So if you're not in the entrepreneur world, if you're not in the coaching world, like online space, right? Sometimes I forget that not everyone is. Like I didn't even know it existed until I started getting into coaching. I didn't even know there was like a coaching world. I just always wanted to be a life coach or a counselor or a psychologist. But I always forget that people don't consume the same content that I do. But if you follow coaches or business coaches, entrepreneurs in the online space, they always talk about a 10K month. All right, they always talk about a 10K month. Or a 6-figure year, which would be, hitting pretty much a 10K month every single month. And it's just like thrown around, you guys, like 10K month, I made my first 10K month. This is for the coaches that make 10K in a month, like 10K month. And I'd always hear that. And that sounded absolutely insane to me, you guys, to make $10,000 in 1 month. Now, I didn't come from a poor family whatsoever. I also didn't come from like a very like rich family. But I just really fucking struggled with money growing up. I never had money ever. I somehow found a way to just get rid of it always, and money just like was never around me. Like I never saw a lot of money. I never had more than like $300 in my bank account, like ever. From the moment I opened a bank account at 16, I had less than $300. And there's always times where, I needed to ask for money, or I couldn't. I never asked my parents for money. I was always sustainable on my own, but it was always that kind of like, oh, well, I can't go out with my friends unless like, you pay for me to go bowling or you pay for me to go to Topgolf. Like I just didn't have money. I always found a way to like work it out. But what I'm trying to say is like what I'm trying to say is $10,000 was a lot to me, like a fuck ton. So when I first started in the coaching space, I'd like hear that that was a thing and that people were hitting that in their business. And I was like, what the actual fuck? What the actual fuck? And we'll talk about this more in this episode. But I very much had money on a pedestal, right? I had money in this like pedestal, like that's so unobtainable, that's not reachable, or I'm going to reach that in a really, really long time. I actually just opened my journal today and was like, sometimes I read and flip through like some of my earlier entries. And I was like writing one of my entries. I'm like, yeah, maybe I can make 100K in like 2 or 3 years or something like that. And like, even writing that down for me was like expanding my horizons of what was possible for me. Like that felt scary to write down. But anyway, I just always have those numbers in my head because so many people talk about them. And yeah, so I from day one was like, oh yeah, this will be such a monumental moment when I make 5 figures in 1 month. But it's not anywhere near me. It's not close to me. Like that's not going to happen anytime soon, right? It's not going to happen anytime soon. But obviously, I think you guys know where I'm going with this. My big milestone that I hit January 2021 after just, I think 7 months of having my business. It was my 7th month of having my business. I had a 10K month. I had a 10K month. I'm speechless still reflecting on this. This was a moment for me. This was a moment where I saw that I like got off the call that made me hit 10K and I just cried and I just cried and I just cried. And it wasn't about like the money. It wasn't about, I mean, it is about the money also. We'll dive into money and everything like that. I want to talk about it. Also, if you're not in the entrepreneurial coach space and you think that this is so strange that I'm like talking about my income, that's okay. We're going to normalize it. We're going to make it normal and make it okay because it's so, that's what they want. They want it to be taboo to talk about money. No, we're going to talk about money. We're going to be friends with our money. We're going to stop acting like it's this taboo thing that we don't talk about. It's like the enemy and it's like we don't speak of it. It's very much talked about in the space that I'm in, but if you're not in that space, this episode is with the intention of, I just did this, you can do it too. But anyway, in that moment, it wasn't about the money at all. It wasn't about the money. When I felt that shift of like, holy shit, I just broke through like a ceiling. I just broke through a huge ceiling that I thought was so far above me. And yeah, like I said, I was kind of in disbelief. I ended up making $14,000 last month with my launch for Metamorphosis. And this was a moment for me that just made me realize how little limits I have and how much is possible. I mean, I know that, I do, but it's these moments that like push your faith even more and like make you realize even more, right? Because we can sit here all day on the podcast or talking to our friends and be like, anything is possible, like you can do anything you set your mind to, like just do it, go for it. Like we can say it all you want, but when you actually feel it and you feel yourself like up level in such a quantum leap like type of way, it's crazy. It's crazy, or at least it was for me. It was one of those things where, I always talk about like if you don't feel success now, you're not gonna like feel it when you reach that point. You have to create the feeling. But seeing those numbers for me, it hit that feeling. Like I said, I felt successful this whole time, but I felt like I made it. Like I have a successful business. I have a business. I've had a business this whole time, but I have a business that is, I did it. I created this. And so today I want to share like just what I learned starting my business and getting here, some business things for my entrepreneurs out there, some just life things. And I want to talk about money and like the way I've shifted my idea about money. All right, so let's get into it. So the first thing that I learned through manifesting this business, this launch, this everything, how I manifested this milestone. So number one, manifestation is less about asking the universe over and over and over and over and over through your journal, and it's more about asking and being clear on your desire wants, and then just alignment. It's about feeling good. It's about alignment, right? And, you know, there can be a misconception. I share this all the time, but, you know, for the people who are new and listening to maybe just this podcast for the first time, there is this misconception in manifestation where, you know, there's a teaching that we can just write in our journal and script something and write it over and over and over and over that we want this thing, and write it over and over and over and over. Somehow that's just going to become our reality. And although that may be true with little things, you know, like $50, a cup of coffee, yes, where your focus goes, energy flows, and you are attracting those things to you by your vibrational match. But when it comes to like your dreams and your job and your like love life and like money and business, it's less about the whole, you know, asking over and over, just journaling what you want. Did I write in my journal that I wanted this? Absolutely. Absolutely. At least a couple times a week, right? Just saying I'm grateful for my 3 groups of metamorphosis. I'm grateful for my thriving business, whatever it may be. But it's less about that. Not that it's not important, and it's more about how you feel. It's all about how you feel, and the journaling can help you get into the right energy, and, you know, doing belief practices and like subconscious rewiring and stuff like that. And visualizing is also amazing to help you become the version of you that you need to be to achieve all these things that you want to achieve. But it's more about you just feeling fucking amazing and being in alignment. And although those things can help, there's more for you to do. You are a co-creator with the universe. And, you know, what really got me here, I believe, and what made my launch so successful for Metamorphosis is focusing on how I feel. And loving where I am, and loving what I'm doing, and loving my program, and feeling so fucking happy and excited about it. That's it. Like, honestly, I could stop there. I don't even have to go through with any of the other things that I want to share. I could just stop there and say, I fucking love what I'm doing. I love what I'm offering. I love my life. I love myself. I love what I'm doing. And I love every moment of this life that I'm experiencing. And when I don't love it, I try to love it. And I focus on feeling good. I focus on feeling good. That is how I have manifested everything in my life. Everything in my life. Yes, I will visualize. Yes, I will make little vision boards on Pinterest. Yes, I will do the journaling practices. And I did some, you know, really amazing journal practices leading up to this launch from like a new program I'm in. And there were things in that area, but I focus all of my manifesting power on how do I feel right now in this moment? How do I feel about the program that I'm offering? How do I feel when I share on Instagram or on the podcast? How do I feel about my work? How do I feel about myself? How do I feel? That's it. And this time around, I was very clear about how I felt. about my program. I had already done it once before, and that went well, or that launch went well, but then the program was fucking insane. So this time around when I launched it, my energy, the first time I launched it, it was new, right? And I was a new coach. I was like, I don't know, I think this is gonna be amazing. Then it was fucking amazing, and then I launched it again, and the way that I felt made this milestone possible, because I didn't even have to do that much this time. I posted about it, you know, a couple times, not as much as I usually would. I was just fucking excited. I was just so excited. There was like my whole body, my heart, and like everything was just so fucking ready to serve more people with this program. And that was the key. That was the key. That's how I manifested it. Was literally just pouring my love and my energy into what I am offering. And that is the key with anything. That is the key to life. That is the key to manifestation, is feeling as good as you possibly could about what you want to manifest and what you want to be in your life, what you want to come into fruition. And the whole point of this life is just to feel good. It's literally just to feel good. And miracles happen. And I will tell you, I felt really fucking good and miracles happened. So that's my first tip to manifesting this launch. Okay, the second thing that I truly feel like led to me creating this milestone in my business is embodying my teachings and investing in myself and my growth. If you are leading people, if you are a coach, if you are a thought leader, if you are an influencer, you cannot take your following, you cannot take people with you farther than you are willing to go. I can never take my clients farther than I am willing to go. And as I grow, others grow. And that is technically what you are investing in. A lot of times, of course, the value and the information as well, but a lot of times when you're investing in a coach, you're investing in their energy and how far they have gone, because you just being in their presence and in their realm and their energy and their teachings, like you are able to go as far as them. So like when I create, how do I explain this? Like when I open up more possibilities, it makes it more possible for you guys to achieve it, right? When someone makes more money, it makes it more possible for us to make more money. Like I cannot take you guys farther in life. I cannot help you guys grow farther than I have already grown. So hitting this milestone in my business and, you know, filling up all my one-on-one spots to where I have a wait list, filling up all my group coaching, you know, sold out to where I have like a wait list for the 4th group, and having this 10K month and all of these things, no one would want to work with me if I did not invest in myself and grow to the point that I am in now. This does not mean that I have like grown so far, like, well, I have grown a fuck ton. But what I'm trying to say is there's still so much space for me to grow. There's so much room for me to grow. Like, whew, it's almost overwhelming to think about. Trust me, I know I have so much more space to grow. But I have, you know, since starting this journey, grown so much and invested in myself so fucking much. We'll talk about this too when we get to the whole money thing. I have so many unpaid investments, or if you want to call it quote unquote debt, I just hate to say the D word. I like to just call them my investments, right? I have so many investments from me just investing in myself and coaches and certifications and group coaching programs and books and courses and to up level my growth, because I know when I grow, you guys grow. I bring you along with me. I create more and more possibilities, more opportunities. And that's another reason why I wanted to share this milestone so much, is because when I share these things and when I grow more and when I make more and when I, just more, when I do more, when I be more, when I have more, like that is just creating more and more space for you guys to do the same, right? It's just opens up more. When I say that I made that much in a month, when I made 10K in a month, it's just opening a portal for you to do the same. It's showing you like, wow, that's so possible. And like, I just have to say, if I can go from where I was, guys, I flipped burgers for 5 years of my life. Literally flipped burgers. That was my job for 5 years. I worked at Netflix customer service, literally just talked on the phones for like 9 hours a day. I worked at a tanning salon, just cleaning tanning beds all day, right? And there was nothing special about me. There was nothing special or extraordinary. I didn't have any like, right? Like of course I'm special in my own way. But what I'm trying to say is like, I'm just like you guys. And if I can get to where I was to where I am now, anyone can do it. And we are one and the same. I am you. You are me. We are literally the same. And this doesn't just go for a 10K month. That's maybe not, that might not even be a goal for you. But this just goes for anything that like, it's more like the metaphor of like, I thought I couldn't, it was going to take me so long to achieve something, or it's just such a crazy thing for me to like think of, right? It's such a crazy thing for me to even think of happening. You might have something similar that you're just like, oh, I could never see that happening. I don't think I could ever do that. Like, that just seems like something that only happens to other people. It's not. It's ready to happen to you. It wants you. The things that you want you. And I feel like just sharing these things opens this opportunity to realize like, oh my God, I can do it. Like, I can do it too. Oh, she's doing it. I can do it too. Oh, he's doing it. I can do it too. Oh, they're doing it. I can do it too. And you can. If I can get to, from where I was in every single way, mindset wise, financially, friends, relationships, job, like everything, to where I am now, it's just fucking crazy, honestly. Anywho, so I've focused on growing myself, or I've focused on my own personal growth, because when I personally grow, it creates space for everyone else to grow, and that's ultimately what people are getting attracted to and why they want to work with you. So if you are selling something and you are not like taking your own medicine, you're selling a coaching program and you're not being coached yourself and focusing on your growth, then there is inaccuracy there. Like, there's inauthenticity in a lot of ways. So one of like my main things I've focused on that I feel got me here is truly focusing on myself and my growth. Number 3, this is a big one. This is a huge one. Not letting, like, how do I word this? Not letting like setbacks or letdowns get me down. Not letting, I want to say failures, but I don't believe in failure, but what people would call a failure or rejection. Not letting letdowns or rejections get me down. There are a lot of people getting into the online space, the coaching space, or the entrepreneurial space. Or actually this really just counts for anything, right? Like looking for jobs, dating. And a lot of people, when they get let down or they get told no, or when they get rejected, they tend to let it just shoot them down, right? This isn't working. This isn't going to work. I'm not good enough. Like this just isn't going to happen. It's not for me. Like, I'm doing something wrong, right? If they get a rejection, they get told no, it gets them down, right? And that can prevent a lot of people from being successful and getting far and getting to these milestones and creating the business, because they let it get to them. They let it react, or they react to it. And one of my, really huge things that has been a part of my business that has gotten me to this point is not letting those things get to me at all. Also, if you guys are watching the video of this on YouTube, this shit is the best. It is literally my favorite thing in the world. Sponsor me. It's the Gingerade kombucha from GT's, and I probably have talked about it before. I fucking love it so much. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh, okay. Rejection, setbacks, letdowns, failures, quote unquote. These do not affect me. If I could show you guys the amount of times that I have been told no, or just not been answered, like just got ignored, ghosted. So I heard so many no's, probably hundreds of no's, right, to my programs or my working with me, or even just free content I wanted to share or free coaching call. The amount of like ghosts and just no answers I've gotten, the amounts of no's that I have heard is enough to make anybody like kind of shut down and be like, oh, maybe this isn't going to work for me. Maybe this is wrong. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I'm not good enough. And that, I just never let that affect me. You guys, I never, ever, ever let that affect me. I mean, of course, if I'm getting like no after no after no after no, and it doesn't have to do with like anything with my energy and stuff, and of course I would take a look at it and be like, okay, maybe this is a program that people are not interested in or something like that. But for my experience, I heard so many no's, and I never thought like it was about me or my business or my program. I didn't let it get to me in that way. And of course it would try to get to me in that way and say like, you're not good enough, no one wants to work with you, like you're stupid, what are you doing, like you're charging too much, they're gonna think you're such a phony, like imposter syndrome, all these like crazy thoughts that were just trying to get in my head so that I wasn't in a vulnerable state. Because that's the job of the mind, is to just make sure we are safe and not in that vulnerable state. But I didn't let it get to me, and I stayed true to my vision and what I knew I was supposed to be doing, and just loving my program. So I can give a lot of my business success so far that I've had to not letting no's or rejections or a post not getting any likes or whatever it is like get to me at all. It has nothing to do with me at all. And it's, my work and my soul's purpose is like way, way bigger than that. Also, I have never just sat here in my business and just waited for people to come to me. If you are a coach or you are in an entrepreneur role, or you are wanting to start a business, do not just post on your story, DM me, and just hope that somebody bites. And you're just over and over and over, like you just keep posting on your story, DM me if you want this, DM me, I have this program, DM me. Do I still do that? Yes, absolutely. Every once in a while I'll be like, oh, if you want this spot, like shoot me a DM. If you want this, shoot me a DM. But when I first started, that is not how it was. That's not how it was at all. And this leads me to number 4, how I manifested this milestone. And I manifested this through a lot of guided action, a lot of inspired action, right? Things that were given to me from the universe that pulled me to do these things, or different coaches told me to do these things and taught me to do these things. so that I could manifest what I actually desired, right? It's been this whole journey. It's not like I manifested it, I wrote it in my journal, and then like the next week it happened. I have been manifesting and creating this through ups and downs and twists and turns. So the next thing that I did to get to this point was create relationships. Excuse me. Create relationships. This is the key to a business. This is the fucking key. I'm giving away all my secrets right now. But a lot of people won't even use them, but I'm giving away all my secrets right now. Create relationships. And not just for the sake of growing your business and like getting sales out of them. No. Create relationships because you want to. Because you love it. Because you love serving and you love connecting and you love it. You fucking love it. Like that's, you know, I'm kind of speaking from like a coach standpoint right now. It's hard for me not to because I coach a lot of other coaches that are getting into the coaching world. But, you know, I'm in business to serve others, and I've completely 100% built my business off of the relationships I've created. Hours and hours a day of just DMing people, voice memoing back and forth, hopping on calls with people, serving them all for free, giving away free valuable information, making ebooks, making workbooks, starting conversations, wanting to talk to people, wanting to see how their journey is going, how they're growing, all of these things. It's the key. It's the key. It's the key. You are starting a business, or you want to, or you have a business, especially coaching. Create relationships. Create relationships. Next, I probably should have put this at the beginning of all of these, but we're gonna talk about it now. I made a huge decision when I first started manifesting this, right? This definitely, sorry, I'm thinking now, and this definitely should have been at the beginning, but I made a big decision at the start of, like, in the middle of my launch that ultimately helped me to manifest this. So I was only gonna have 2 groups of metamorphosis, and I had that Akashic Records reading that I told you guys about in a previous episode by my good friend Jane, who I love so dearly, and if you are listening to this, I love you. And I uncovered that group coaching is what I really wanted to put my time and my energy into. And I wanted to cut down to only having 5 or 6 on like one-on-one clients. And I really wanted to do like 3 or 4 group coachings. Like 3 or 4 group coachings would be a dream. It would be a dream. But I was like, oh, I barely filled some spots for 2 groups last time. There's no way I'm going to find 24 girls that are all in for metamorphosis. And, you know, okay, I'm not being the best example when I say that, because when you're manifesting, you should not have those thoughts or have those doubts. But I will be honest, I was a little bit like, how the fuck am I going to do that? Right? Like, how the fuck am I going to do that? So I definitely, you know, this is not one of those manifestation stories where there was 0 doubts in my head whatsoever, right? My energy matched what I was receiving, but I did have some thoughts of almost like, it wasn't even like doubt if I could obtain that. I knew I could, but it was just like, how am I going to do that? And is that really going to happen this time, like right now? And I made this big decision within my Akashic Records reading, and afterwards, as I was integrating, and I realized, like, I want to do more group coaching. I really want to do more. So I said, fuck it, and I added a 3rd group and ended up filling up the 3rd group. So the lesson here is, like, even if it scares the fuck out of you and you don't know how, commit to what you want, commit to your desire. Here's the thing too, you guys, in the coaching space, there is this thing, like, that they say you should always, like, pretty much, like, you have to do one-on-one coaching in a lot of ways. Like, that's what every, like, business mentor says, and, like, other people, just everyone says that. Like, you have to do one-on-one coaching. You have to do one-on-one coaching. Do more one-on-one coaching. Like, always start with one-on-one coaching, and then you can move to other things. And so I always just felt really stuck, like, oh, I can just, I need to do mostly one-on-one coaching. When I decided, like, to not listen to anyone else, like, that was a moment for me that I'm like, I'm not going to listen to anybody else and what they think that I should do with my business. I'm going to do what I want to do with my business, and I'm going to do a fuck ton of group coaching, which I have a lot more I want to do. I have ideas for things that I want to do after metamorphosis, master classes for during metamorphosis, maybe in like the next couple of weeks. I have some big plans and ideas to talk about, like manifesting money and entrepreneurship, and I don't know, I have so many ideas. But I decided, I'm like, I want to do that more. And the moment I decided and it felt in alignment and I felt the excitement, back to the first little tip I said, like, just fucking falling in love with my program and my business and what I'm doing and what I'm offering. And I decided, and I tuned into my authenticity. I tuned into my heart and what my soul wanted, and I felt in alignment, and that energy is what created it, right? Even though I did have those little doubts in my head of like, how the fuck am I gonna do this? I just kind of left it up to the universe and was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. And it was perfect confirmation that this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. I made that big decision, which was huge for me. Okay. Here's the next thing I learned, you guys. Here's the next thing I learned. I learned that it is less about what you do and what you say in your business and in your marketing, and more about how you do it and how you feel about what you are doing or saying. This kind of goes along with the first tip, right? Just fucking fall in love with what you're offering, what you're doing, your program. Just like love it, love every moment of it. Then it just sells itself. But I had this misconception when I first started my business. I'm like, if I word this the right way, then maybe people will want to join. If I post about it 50 times, then maybe people will want to join. If I do this, then maybe people will want to join. But it wasn't about that. It's been about my energy and how I feel. And I have done less this launch than I ever have for anything. And I've had little to no stress, like at all. Little to no stress. And because doing isn't what's magnetizing and attractive. Being is who you are being, how you are being, the energy you are feeling, like how you are saying things. It's not about what you say, it's about how you say things. And I really learned this time because I have worked on my energy so much and done like so much energy work. Like I've done a lot of energy work. I've done a lot of just like really, really mastering my feelings and emotions and diving into my feminine side and my pleasure, like all of these things since last year when I launched this and like just the beginning of my business. And I've grown so much, and like that this time around, I barely even had to say anything. I was just attracting the people that I wanted to work with, and they knew they wanted to work with me. Just the best feeling in the world, right? It's like it's the best feeling in the world as a leader and a coach to not have to, I wasn't trying to be like technical with like what I was saying. I was literally just showing up. I fucking knew how I felt about my program, and I was like, yep, this is it. Like, this is the program. And people, like, you can feel people's energy and how they feel, and people knew how I felt because they could feel how I felt about this program. So I learned, I truly experienced, not just learned, I experienced that it is less about what you are doing and how much you do it, and more about how you are doing it and who you are being when you are doing it. That was so good. I feel like that was poetic. If that sounded as good out loud as it did in my head, right? It's not about what you are doing or how much you are doing it. It's about how you're doing it and who you're being when you're doing it and why you're doing it. It's about why you're doing it. People do not buy what you are selling. They buy why you are selling it. And yeah, and that I think was a huge part of my manifestation of this huge milestone that I feel so fucking grateful for and excited for, and I feel like a perfect energetic match to it. I actually got one of the best compliments I've ever gotten from a good friend. She like, I said that I had a milestone, and she like messaged me, and she's like, 10K month, and I'm like, yeah, girl. And she was like, that's amazing, like, you've been an energy match to that, like, you've been an energy match. And that, like, from a spiritual woo-woo person, I'm like, that is the best compliment that you can get, is literally someone telling you that you were a vibrational match to your manifestation before it came into fruition. I don't know, that fucking got me. I was like, what? Yes, yes, I am a vibrational match to this, thank you. Nobody tell me I'm beautiful anymore. I just want to know I'm a vibrational match to that which I desire. That is such a bomb compliment. I fucking love that. So yeah, doing less and more alignment, right? More alignment, and just feeling good. Can I just go back to that tip? It's about feeling good, just working on yourself. Anywho, the next thing that I feel like has equaled this I can't talk, that has equaled the success I've had in my business so far is sharing fucking everything. Being authentic and sharing everything. Even throughout this, as I've been like recording this podcast, I'm like, oh my God, am I sharing too much? Am I sharing like just too much about business and money and like all of these things? And am I being too, the mind just goes off. Am I being too personal? Am I being too, even as I share this right now, I'm like, why am I sharing this? Am I being too like, I need to cut this out? What am I doing? I need to be more professional. No, I know that my success so far and my business and how it is and how it runs and how it feels is because I share everything, and I share too much. Not too much, I share a lot. And I try to really like just leave all parts of me in here, the parts where I'm coughing, the parts where I'm just taking a drink, the parts where I'm being weird and random and not making sense, or just being silly, or just sharing things that are like really, really personal. Like all of these things that I'm sharing with you guys in this episode are very, very personal to me. Like these are like things that, I don't know, I don't share with a lot of people, right? I also don't have a lot of like coach friends or entrepreneurial friends, like in the online space, only like my online friends. But so I don't share these a lot, but it feels good. It feels good to be so vulnerable and open and share all of these things. And I want to share everything with you guys. And when you share vulnerably with your audience, when you truly show up and you share everything and you don't filter and you don't hide anything and you be 100% yourself, that is when you attract people. That is when you create your community, because that's when people actually connect with you, right? If I came on here and tried to act professional and cut out every single part that I thought I sounded too weird or silly or was being whatever my mind was trying to tell me, like, oh, you said like too many times, or literally too many times, or too many times. And if I try to filter myself and cut myself out and not be like a real person, right? If I was like more robotic, if I scripted everything and like read all of my podcasts, today I wrote down some notes, but I never write down like notes or anything. I just like come on here and talk. And if I scripted everything and edited everything like a lot, I would be like a robot, and it wouldn't be as you guys wouldn't connect to me. You wouldn't come back and listen. You wouldn't be listening right now. Actually, I mean, maybe you would. I don't know. Maybe I could be less weird and you guys would still listen, I don't know. But I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. If you are building a personal brand online, like, be yourself and fully yourself and share things that people are going to connect to, because that's how my business was built. That is how I got to this place where I'm working with over 31 girls right now, just making moves, making badass boss ass bitch moves. Like, that's how I got here. Creating relationships, being authentic, showing up and sharing, being consistent, not reacting to letdowns and rejections and worries and fears, and fucking loving what I'm doing. Sticking to what feels good to me and letting go of what doesn't feel good to me, right? Doing more of what feels really, really good to me, what I feel inspired to do and what I'm feeling called to do. Working on myself, working less on what I'm supposed to be doing and saying and writing and just focusing on being who I am and working on myself and investing in myself, right? Investing in myself and my growth and different programs. And finally, the last thing is putting my love and attention on my money. So let's actually talk about the money part, right? So all of those things that I just shared were more just about like business and how I built things and how I created this and how I feel like I got here. And I'm sure there's more, and I will also let me know if you guys like hearing me talk about business, because I've been trying to incorporate it more and more in my content, because I coach a lot on business. I love talking about business and sharing business, and stuff like that. And I really want to share more with you guys, but I want to hear from you if you guys enjoy these kinds of tips and things. So yeah, those were more of like sales, marketing, business. I want to dive into the money part a little bit. And God knows I still have some ways to go with my money mindset, right? I'm always working on it. But I will say, the way that I feel about money now, like compared to how I felt about it a year ago, is like night and day difference. Like fucking craziness. And it shows, obviously it shows, because I just manifested this milestone of making $14,000 in 1 month, this last month. So obviously my energy is a little bit different. My mindset is a little bit different. And I just wanted to talk about a little bit the shifts that I've made when it comes to money, and just, yeah, a couple things that I want to share. So number one, let's talk about the pedestal. I was talking earlier in this episode about how I fucking put money on a pedestal, like hardcore put money on a pedestal. It was, like I said, making this type of money was not in my realm. I didn't think it was ever going to happen to me, honestly. Like, if you would have told me, like, just visualize yourself with that much money, I would have not, like, it would have felt so foreign and unreal to me, right? Like a year ago. And even now, like, the milestone felt amazing just to hit that milestone, but you guys, they say money can't buy you happiness, but it absolutely can. It can't buy you happiness if you are depressed. It's not going to solve your issues, but money is okay to talk about. It's a good thing. It's freedom. It's our birthright. It's something that we all deserve to have, and it shouldn't be this taboo thing. It's amazing to have money. When we have more money, we can do more good things with it, and we make it possible for more people to have more money and more abundance. And like, the creation of money is beautiful. I think money is beautiful. I also follow a lot of leaders that have made that mindset possible for me, because I have, for a long time, if I would have been listening to this podcast right here that I'm recording a year ago, I would have been like uncomfortable hearing someone talk about money. I truly would have felt kind of uncomfortable. But I decided to invest my love and my time and my energy and my attention into money and follow people who talked about money and talked about how beautiful it was to create money and the benefits of it. And so I've changed my mindset now to seeing how beautiful it is. What was I saying about that? Yes. So it was, I was talking about money can't buy you happiness. I think that's a silly saying. I think it's true that if you are sad and you're trying to fill that hole or make yourself happy just through buying things, of course that's not right. Things don't create feelings, you create feelings through your thoughts, right? Things don't create feelings, thoughts create feelings. But I think, I have stressed about money every single day for the past 8 years. Like seriously struggled, like stressed every single day, every time I had to like eat or get gas or like buy anything. Like literally felt so stressed. I have so much debt, don't have any savings in my name. Well, now I do. And I will tell you, money is fucking beautiful. Money is beautiful and we deserve to have it, and we deserve to have a lot of it. And here are the steps that I think are little things that I want to share to help us start getting to that point where we feel that way, where you feel that same way. Because I felt embarrassed to want money. I felt like it was greedy when people wanted money. I remember asking one of my friends, like, why do you want money? Like, why can't you just be happy with what you have? Yeah, I've come a long ways. I've come a very long ways. So the first thing I need to share about this, and the real shift that I have made, is taking money off the pedestal. Taking money off a pedestal and stop making this like crazy thing in your mind, like money, right? We just have this energy around money in our brains that just makes it so like on a pedestal and taboo and this like miraculous thing that solves all our problems. And we put it on a pedestal. When you put something on a pedestal, you are putting it, the vibration of it, so much higher than yours, and you're lowering your vibration to that desire. And if you're not a match to your desire, then you're not going to manifest your desire. So the first thing I did to manifest more money was to take it off the pedestal and stop acting like, this whole episode I've been sharing that 10K months sounded insane to me. It still kind of did, right? There's still just some doubts in my head of like, oh my God, that would be insane. That would be insane to do that. But I also have been doing the work for the past like 6 months to getting to the point where it does sound realistic. It doesn't sound that crazy. Like it would, there was like a balance to it where it still would be like an amazing thing to achieve, and it sounded crazy. But I started like regulating my mind to think like $100,000 is not that much. $1 million is not that much, right? How many of us, as we're growing up, people are asking like, oh my God, like, what would you do with $1 million if you won the lottery? Like today, what would you do with your money? What would you do with $1 million? And everyone is like, oh my God, I have no idea. That's so much money. And we're like in awe, we're like, $1 million? What would I do with $1 million? And I started to kind of train myself into thinking like, it's not that much. I'm gonna have that. What are you freaking out about? You're dreaming about $1 million? Okay, that's just like what I'm gonna make. Maybe I'll dream about 3 trillion or something. I don't know. Just kidding. But $1 million isn't that much. Neither is $100,000, and neither is $10,000. And I think a lot of times we put money on this pedestal in our mind, and it just pushes it farther and farther away from us. So stop putting money on a pedestal. Number 2, you need to fucking love to receive it. You need to love to receive it. You need to stop feeling uncomfortable about receiving money, which I did for a really long time, right? I didn't want to receive money. I didn't want to receive really anything. I didn't want to receive compliments. I didn't want to receive, I've talked about this a lot. If you listen to me speak, like I didn't want to receive anything. And a big part of manifesting my business now has been like a big shift for me was opening myself up to receive, truly opening myself up to receive. You have to love to receive money. Every time you get it, say thank you so much. Look at your money in your bank account, even if it's $5, and just like love it. Just love to receive anything and everything. Because if you are not receiving, you're not in receiving mode, you're being resistant to receiving, then you're asking the universe to like send you money. The universe is like, dude, I try to send you this, I try to send you that, I try to send you that. And you're so resistant to receiving, you were ungrateful, you didn't like it, you felt uncomfortable, you're like, no, don't pay for my lunch. Why am I going to send you this money? Right? So you have to be open to receive, be grateful to receive, love to receive. There's so much I could dive into right now about this. I'm like, I want to pour my heart out, but I also want to wait a little bit because I think I'm going to do a masterclass about this and talk about manifesting money more. But I will just say one thing. Also, the next little tip, abundance is a mindset. It is not a number in your bank account. Okay? Abundance is a mindset. It is not about the number in your bank account. If you want more on that and how to actually feel the feeling of abundance, we'll dive into that more. The next thing is to think of it as energy. Think of money as energy. It's literally just energy. And that's the best part about this milestone that I have created is it is like the perfect energy match. There is no part of me that's like, I received more energy than I am giving. There is not one part of me that feels that way or feels icky about receiving the money. It feels so fucking good because I'm giving equal energy. Like, people gave me an amount of energy and I am giving them an amount of energy back, which equals 7 years of experience, 7 years of my life and experience, and like just so much money that I've put into myself and learning and time and everything like that. And when you start to think of money as energy, it starts to completely shift the way that you make money, the way you save money, the way you spend money, because you see it just as your energy. One little tip for that would be like, start thinking about like money as in terms of like what you receive hourly. So for example, if you make $20 an hour and you go out to eat and you see that the food is $20, right, for you to eat, after you eat it or before you eat it or whatever, asking yourself like, would I work for 1 hour to eat this, right? And I started like looking at like my little $10 expenses, and I'm like, this is when I was making $20 an hour. I'd be like, oh my God, would I work for 30 more minutes tonight just to have this thing? And I'm like, nope, I'd rather just not have that thing that I was gonna buy, you know, like the extra large coffee at Starbucks or something. I'm like, no, I'd rather go home 30 minutes early and just make a coffee at home. And when you start thinking of it in that way of like, your money is just paper that you got for your energy, and then you're just giving your energy to someone else, it changes the way that you feel about money. Again, I like want to dive deeper into this, but I'm going to leave that for another episode and a masterclass possibly that I want to do. But you need to love to receive it. You need to think of it as energy. You need to take it off the pedestal. And then the last thing that I want to share is a little thing that I have been using, and I truly believe that this was a big part to play in manifesting money for me and manifesting this milestone. I have this belief that, and actually, light bulb, this kind of goes into like what my friend was saying, that like I've been an energy match to this. I have been an energy match to this, but why have I not made that much yet? Why has it not came into fruition? I believe in divine timing and that the universe will not give you anything that you are not ready for. The universe will not give you anything that it's just not time for you to have it. And I started to think to myself, this is probably like in December or November, I started to think to myself, what if I am not manifesting more money? Or what if I'm not going to manifest more money until I get my like finances in check, like organize my money and even just like look at my money. Honestly, guys, I would just ignore my money. I was just living like payment to payment, paycheck to paycheck type of thing. Just would spend my money, didn't care about how I was spending my money. I didn't look at my money or love my money or my debt. I never checked in on it. I was just kind of ignoring it. And again, I like want to dive into like so many money teaching things right now, but I'm gonna hold back. I'm never gonna hold back. I'm just holding back in this episode so I can make its own time for it. But money doesn't want to be in your bank account if you ignore it and you don't spend time or energy on it. And I also knew if the universe helped me manifest more money at the time when I didn't have my money organized and in check, that money probably would be gone. Like the universe probably knew not to give that to me and not to bring that into fruition yet, because like I wasn't ready to hold that much, right? And some people might be listening and be like, girl, like, well, you can't hold $10,000. It's not even like that much, right? But I never had a savings or anything. I'm telling you, $200 in my bank account, like lots and lots and lots and lots of debt that I had. And so that was a lot for me to hold. I don't think the universe knew that I was not ready for that much. The universe knew I was not ready for that much. So I had this, and I started thinking of that. I started thinking like, what if I'm not going to truly grow in my business until I like get shit organized? I ended up finding a video by Natalia Benson, which Natalia Benson made this video where I learned it, but she actually learned it from like a book, and I can't remember the book or the teacher of this. And maybe a lot of people use this technique. I don't know. I just never had any like, sorry, just hit the microphone. I never had, I don't know, any teachings on this, about this. But I watched this video, I implemented this technique, and instantly after is when everything started happening for me in my business. Like kind of just like blew up, honestly. And I really truly believe it's because the universe is like, thank you for taking care of your money. Now I can help you make more and start to save and start to pay off your old investments that aren't paid off and stuff like that. So the trick, which honestly, if you just want the link to Natalia Benson's YouTube video, I can just send it to you. If you DM me, I can shoot it your way. But what she does in the video is she sets up different bank accounts. So I have like a checking account, I have a personal savings, a tax savings, because I have to like pay my taxes. I don't get a tax return. My tax savings, I have a food and necessities. I have a spending and fun. I have a big expenses account. So I think I have like 7 different bank accounts, and I just opened them up online. I just applied for it, named them all different names. I ordered different cards for them. And every time I put money into my account, even if it's $10, even if I get $10, I put 10% in my taxes. So I put $1 in my taxes, and I do this every time money hits my bank account. I transfer to every account, all 6 accounts or 7 accounts. And in my checking and expenses, it stays for like bills, right? So 60% stays in my bills. And then I put like 10% in my taxes, 5% in personal savings, 5% in big expenses and festivals, 5% in spending, whatever percentage you want to work out that feels good to you and like what you spend your money on. You can create the different accounts and how much you want to put in each. But me doing that has completely shifted the way that I see my money, and I organize my money, and I love my money and how I make my money. Because now I know very clearly, like, I don't have this paycheck to paycheck mindset. I see what I have in my spending account. And if I have enough to get my lips done in my spending account, then I can. But I can't pull from the big expenses account. I can't pull from the food account. I can't pull from, all my accounts have different things. And it's so organized, you guys, and it's so beautiful. Natalia explains it really good. So if you guys want her YouTube video, you're welcome, Natalia, a little self-promo for you. But I can send it to you. But this trick, this technique of me just going to my account and actually looking at my account and separating it into different things like food and spending and whatever, it has shifted everything about the way that I look at my money. And I have more now. Even if I didn't make more, I would have more, because I'm looking at it, I'm giving it my love, I'm giving it my attention, I'm giving it my energy. And when you go in there, and this is a form of manifestation, when you treat your money like you would if you had hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, think, if you had hundreds of thousands of dollars, how would you spend your money? Would you ignore your bank account, or would you go in and organize it all and see what money you have for this and see what money you have for that, right? You would go in and you would organize it. When you treat your money now, even if it is $5, even if it is $5, if you treat your money now the way you would if you had hundreds of thousands of dollars, then you are going to be able to manifest more and more and more and more money, right? Just makes sense. So that is another thing I wanted to share that completely shifted the way I view money, and what I think has a huge part to play in this milestone that I have reached in my business. That was a lot. That was a lot. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys loved it. I'm feeling, this is the best I've ever felt in my whole life, honestly. And I felt really fucking good these past 2 or 3 years. My emotions are very stable, but for some reason, just this month, like these past couple of weeks from when this happened, I've never felt better, more accomplished, or more successful, or more, I've never felt feeling like this, where I set out to create something and I created it. I mean, and I'm good at manifesting. Like, I can manifest things. I know how to create in my life. But I think this is the thing I'm most proud of for creating. I'm so proud of creating this. And again, like, me sharing this, like, my full intention and my heart when I like share all of these words is like, I just want you guys to know that you can do that too. You can get there too, even if it's not, for you, it's not a 10K month. I get it, right? That was just in my head what I like wanted to create. Even if it's not that for you, like, you can create anything that you desire in this reality. You can create anything that you desire in this reality. Anything. Anything. Literally anything, you guys. And I feel like I've known that, but I'm experiencing it on a whole nother level right now, and I want to help you guys do the same. So let me know too, you guys, if you really, really love hearing about business, because obviously I didn't start my platform really talking about that, but I feel so inspired to share more. I want to share more tips and things that I learn, and talk more about the energy and money and how confidence comes. I mean, it's still all of my same teachings, but it's just on another level. All of my same teachings, just on a new level, a new version, a new level. And the fears and the doubts that come with it, and breaking through it, and all of the mindset work and the energy work that comes with it. I want to share it all. So, yeah, this milestone was huge. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful for this platform. I'm so grateful for you guys. I'm so grateful to be like serving. I actually did my first, I don't even think I mentioned this in the whole podcast episode. I'm so silly. Maybe I did. But the reason I created 14K in a month was because I filled up 3 groups of metamorphosis. No, I did say that. I did share that. What am I talking about? But I have my 3rd group in an hour, and I have already done 2 of the groups so far, first session, and it's unreal. It's unreal. I love it. I feel so grateful to be serving those people, and I can't wait to put so many more of you through this program or whatever programs I create after this. So I love you guys so fucking much. If you loved this episode, feel free to share it. I would absolutely love it if you shared it, and I would also love to ask of you guys, my loyal followers and listeners, if you would please rate and review my podcast. I would seriously love that and appreciate it so much, so you can help me grow and reach more people. And if you are watching on YouTube, you can subscribe. You can leave me a comment down below what you loved about this episode. I seriously love the YouTube thing, guys. I'm really stoked about it, and I love that you guys can leave me comments down below. I truly, truly love that feature that you guys can comment on it. And I think I'm gonna get I was just shopping for cameras. I might get a camera and start doing YouTube as well as the podcast. Like actually just doing YouTube videos. So that's exciting. And yeah, anywho, share this episode, share it on your stories, tag me in it, rate, review. I love you guys. I hope you have the most beautiful week ever. And yeah, I will catch you guys in my next episode. Bye.